What is up, everybody? So what am I doing? I got my shirt off. Essentially just got my posing trunks on here. And since it's what I just use them for. Kind of just chilling shorts on. But what am I about to do? I'm about to go outside and lay out. It is like, it's a little bit more on the chillier side. It's been actually pretty damn cold these past couple of days. But today's it's not anything crazy cold. It's 46 degrees right now. I'm gonna go lay out. And why? So first off, get vitamin D in, okay? So vitamin D is something, I forget the percentage, but you watching this, you're more than likely deficient in vitamin D. So I got this app I heard about recently called DMinder, just like it sounds, DMinder, DMinder. You can input your location and it tells you exactly when, because now depending on where you live, you may not be able to get vitamin D during the winter time. Fortunately, I'm able to get some here living in South Carolina. So you know, during the summertime, basically the higher the angle in the sun is in the sky, the higher directly above you, the more vitamin D you're making. If it's below a certain angle, your skin will not actually make any vitamin D from the sunlight. So it's just it's pointless to lay out. You just be wasting your time since you're laying out. But right now, you know, 12:32 is solar noon when it's at its peak. So it's about 15 minutes after that, so I'm going out there. Still, the current angle is still at the peak angle. So I'm going to go lay out, and then I'm going to be touching on some other ways to get in some good vitamin D, and also not just good vitamin D sources, but different sources inside the same sources. And I'll explain what I mean here in just a second. So going to get out there. I'm super white, as y'all can see, so I'm just laying out 6 minutes each side. I believe essentially, I'm not trying to get a tan, so what I believe you can have, I mean, I've just been building up to maybe about twice a week, about every 5th or 6th, 7th day, something like that. Laying out when the sun is, you know, and the angle's up good. So, you know, thankfully the angle keeps getting higher and higher as we get closer to summertime. But, so what I believe in is just laying out enough. So again, you want to be looking at how many IU/micrograms you're getting daily. So, you know, but right now I'm just laying out 6 minutes each side, and then in the future I'm going to build up slowly, but I want to lay out to just stimulate the vitamin D production and not damage the skin any. You see what I'm saying? That's healthy. You want to do it healthy. If you're laying out, you're actually getting darker. There's some damage happening to your skin, and obviously if you're getting sunburnt, it's the worst case scenario. You never want to get sunburnt. But we're going to lay out 6 minutes each side. I'm up from 5 minutes each side. Slowly but surely I'm going to keep increasing, but very slowly, because you know, as the time passes into the summer, the sun's going to get more intense, so therefore I'm going to be getting more out of less time. So always keep that in mind as well. So I'm also cutting as well. So like, I'm basically the leanest I've ever been. But basically, so I eat super healthy as well, and my diet's on point. I'm literally hitting like every check mark as far as nutrition is concerned. Vitamin D is one thing I haven't been seeing. I'm a little bit lower in. So that's why I've been making the effort to actually lay out at least, you know, once to twice a week, about, you know, like I said, 5 to 7 days or so. And then also I'm looking more into, because I've been checking different boxes. So I've been noticing, okay, I'm lowering this. Okay, let me get that fixed. Got that fixed. Okay, I'm noticing I'm a little bit lower in this. And it's just vitamins and minerals I'm lowering. So I'm, you know, fixing those holes. I want no holes in my diet. That way I can be optimal health, especially as I'm leaner, to make sure my body's staying maximizing muscle retention, holding on to muscle, building muscle, and keeping my hormones optimized as well. Just everything optimal. And now I'm down to vitamin D, and I'm seeing, okay, I'm not getting 100% of my daily intake of vitamin D. Since I always want to hit exactly at least I mean 100% of the daily recommended value of any specific nutrient, essentially. So that's why I started doing this. We're going to get the vitamin D in check now, and again, you know, just boost my health that much more and have all the boxes checked. Because as of now, vitamin D is the only thing I'm seeing that I am potentially, it's the last thing I'm seeing I'm deficient in. So and not like I'm not getting none, but I'm not getting, like I said, at least that 100% mark like I do want to get in. So gonna lay out, then we're gonna be going over some sources, and again, then sources inside of sources, which I'll be explaining that here shortly. First off, get your KG Clothing Co. merch at the second link in bio, and second, third links in bio is all my clothing brands. But alright, so I was out there for 6 minutes each side. I gave it a little bit extra, so 13 minutes. I generated 1,328 IUs, okay? And I was actually out there a little bit longer, not timing, because taking thumbnail pictures and stuff like that. So for sure over 1,400, but we're going to say it's 1,400 just to make this equation more like even number. So for 1,400 IUs, okay, you would divide the IUs by 40, okay, and that gives me 35 micrograms, okay. So whatever IUs you see, divide it by 40, and that's how many micrograms you got, okay. Like on food packaging stuff, it goes by micrograms and not IUs. Like supplements goes by IUs. I was reading online too. The new conversion is micro units. So I just got 35% of my daily vitamin D requirements out there. I actually misspoke. Earlier when I converted the 1,400 IUs from laying out, how long I laid out earlier, 13 minutes, into micrograms, that gave me 35 micrograms. I misspoke and said 35% of my daily total vitamin D. Recommendations, so based on like the food packages and stuff, if you do the math, it's basically 20 micrograms is the daily recommended amount to get 100%. So if you get 20 micrograms, you have 100% of your daily vitamin D needs. So I just got 35%. So I just got 175% of my daily vitamin D needs from just laying out for 13 minutes. 13 minutes, 6 minutes one side, 6 minutes one side. 175% of my daily vitamin D needs. Again, when you're laying out, you also want to keep in mind, lay out when you're getting sun, and you can lay on the ground, lay flat. You expose basically your whole body evenly, right? When you're just walking, say if I went outside and walked around, well, most of the sun's getting blasted on my freaking shoulders, right? So you want to make sure you're laying down to get essentially the best and healthiest and the most out of this. You know, the more skin you can have exposed, the better. And like I said, the more flat you can actually be, the better, the more horizontal you can be. And that is one thing about the app as well. It's basically, I was reading not from the app, but about other places reviewing the app essentially. It was saying it basically tracks the IUs like you are laying down. So if you're standing up, it's going to be telling you that you're getting more than you actually are, because it's basically based on like you're laying down, because you have an option to flip sides as well. But you can also put how much of your body is exposed, so make sure, you know, it's cool that you can do that as well. And you can do it if it's overcast and all this kind of good stuff as well, to get it as accurate as possible. And one more tip, I always recommend covering the face. Y'all see when I was laying down on my back, I had my face covered. Basically the face and ears, stuff like that. The face and ears is the most sensitive skin, so you want to, you know, basically block that while you're laying out. You don't need to get that. Basically you're you know, so that's always getting sun essentially, regardless, during the day. So you want to protect that skin, make sure you're not getting, you know, sun in premature age or getting sunspots and, you know, cancer spots on your skin. Just protect those areas when you are laying out. And the most in general, regardless like what you're doing throughout the day. If you're hiking outside, whatever you're doing, gardening, whatever, just make sure you're protecting those areas the most. So I just got 100% for today, 75% for tomorrow essentially, right? We're gonna head into the kitchen now, and we'll be talking about some good vitamin D sources. Alright, welcome to the kitchen. So first thing, we're going to get into the foods with the highest amount of vitamin D. I do have one thing here actually in stock. I'm kind of going to run you through the things that I have in stock, so they're going to be the most. So it's going to be essentially fish, and salmon basically has the most, but like sardines have a lot too. Just generally look for fish, okay? I know salmon, sardines, there's another fish type I'm not thinking of right now that has a lot as well, but I think salmon may be the most. So for one fillet on here, which is 4 ounces, I would be getting 9 micrograms, which is 45% of my daily vitamin D needs, okay? But now there is some, you know, health concerns obviously with fish, with mercury and all those stuff in the ocean. So I'm not eating fish a ton all the time. You know, I eat more like, you know, like turkey, chicken, Those are more predominant ones, probably 80% of the time. And then the other 20% of the time would be, you know, fish, and then maybe like some lean ground beef. Obviously, I always like to go organic when I do go ground beef. And then maybe even more percentages, like 85% turkey and chicken. And the one reason I started doing more chicken too is because I actually found organic chicken nearby, and I'm all about going organic as much as possible. So fish, great source of vitamin D, and I'm going to be giving you, you know, natural sources here. Okay, so second thing with the most now, eggs. Got a couple different brands here only because they were out, but I did notice this, it kind of shocked me. So as far as the darkest yolks I've ever been able to find consistently, this is the best brand. Walmart just started carrying this next to me, the Happy Egg. Okay, and Nellie's was the win. I did a big egg comparison video comparing egg brand to egg brand to egg brand. All basically the darker the egg yolk, essentially the healthier the egg is. Now, but if you look at these, so for one egg, okay, we have 1 microgram of vitamin D, which is 6%. Okay, I'm eating 3 eggs a day now. Okay, when I go back to bulking, I'll go back to 4. And then, you know, knowing my vitamin D needs now, more vitamin D conscious, I may do more in the, you know, in the future moving forward. Once I go back to, like I said, to a slight bulk phase, or like a slight more like maintenance, like right above maintenance phase, slight bulk phase, that way I have more calories to mess with. So 1%. So if I had 3 of these a day, I'm getting 18%. Okay, so if I had, what's that, 18, 35, 45, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that'd be 53% there if I just had the eggs and laid out, okay? But that would definitely put me over 100 if I had, you know, the salmon, this, and laid out, okay? But check this out. So for one of these eggs, 6% vitamin D. For the eggs laying bed, this I just noticed, this is the first time I noticed this. Last time I was like, whoa, what in the world? There's so much more vitamin D in this. So now again, I'm more vitamin D conscious, so now I want to start looking at all the vitamin, I'm going to start looking at all the vitamin D when I go to the grocery stores now and see which ones have the most vitamin D. And then now I know which ones have the darkest yolk, and I want to look for the ones that have the darkest yolk with the most vitamin D. But so for one egg of this, and another thing, you want to double check, Eggland is best, this organic one, I'm not sure about the regular one, but these eggs are 60 calories per egg, and basically majority of eggs are 70 calories per serving. This has 1 gram less fat, same amount of protein though, but the vitamin D in the Eggland's Best Organic is 30% for one egg. So if I had just 3 eggs of these a day, that's 90% of my vitamin D, so I can damn near just get everything from the eggs. So what I'm probably going to start doing, since I like these yolks the best, you know, they're the healthiest, darkest yolks, and that's what I've been doing. I've been doing 1 of these and 2 of these as of now, but I want to try to find a good balance of, you know, eventually I may do 2 of these and 2 of this. That way I'm getting, you know, 72% out of this, and then I can get the rest from the sun, the rest from other little areas in my diet, or try to find a good balance of egg yolk that's darker, the darkest with the highest amount of vitamin D, or do, like I said, blend them. That way I'm getting some of the best yolk colors and some that isn't the darkest yolk colors but more vitamin D, and get that in there. So that actually blew my mind, that how much vitamin D is in just one of these Eggland's Best eggs. Absolutely crazy. So next thing I eat, I'm looking at basically my sources that have vitamin D. It's going to be cheese. It's almost not even. So for the cheese here, 0.2 micrograms, says 0%. This one's 0.1 micrograms, so 0%, not even enough for it to show up. But still, that is minimal, and it is adding up to something. You know what I'm saying? It is accounting for something. And then the next vitamin D source I get the most of on my diet. So number 1 source would probably be, I'd say, eggs. And then my personal, you know, I'm talking like a daily routine. I eat a lot of Greek yogurt. The next one, again, this was something I want to start looking into other Greek yogurt brands. This is just the best I found. It's the only organic Greek plain yogurt that I found, non-fat. So, you know, with no other flavors, no other garbage ingredients. So for 1 serving is 170 grams, and we're getting 4% vitamin D. I think I did the math with how much I eat a day. I forget exactly how much. My phone's not in here, but I'm probably eating around, let me see, 212 is 4, 28, 420. I'm probably eating around 450 grams or so of Greek yogurt, you know, give or take some. So I forget what that comes out to, but I think it's around like 15% of my daily intake from, I did the math the other night, but I think it's around 15. So I'm getting about 15% from my Greek yogurt. Again, maybe whole milk has more, but I'm cutting. I don't want the extra calories. Maybe the different brands have more. So again, something I'm going to look into. Alright, but I got changed up actually. My camera died, so I went and moved some furniture into the house that I'm working on remodeling, renovating. Camera's got some juice now, so I'm coming back and finishing up the video. So I could essentially have none from my diet today, and I literally have all the boxes checked, right? So like I touched on earlier with the eggs. So now what I will do, I'm not gonna have the eggs Land's Best that has 30%. I'm gonna do 3 eggs that just have the 6 micrograms a piece. That way, because I've already got plenty for the day, so I'm just gonna get a little bit extra. But on the days, say it's lower, I would use the eggs that have the more. See what I'm saying? So you constantly want to manipulate and do things like that. Now I've also was doing some research too about sun, saying basically, you know, the vitamin D gets converted into, I forget the name of the actual term, it starts with a C, but basically, you know, vitamin D gets converted into the body. It was saying it can last like has a half-life of like 15 days. And then even the other compound, it gets broken down into, like, they've done studies where they've like mega dose people, like I think it was like 100,000 IUs or a million, it was an ass of IUs, and basically they had the vitamin D still in their body 84 days later. It was like a quarter life, something like that, right? So essentially your body stores vitamin D. So if you get a lot of vitamin D one day, that's why, like I said, I'm only laying out once a week, once every 5 to 7 days, right? So, and potentially that one day laying out, you know, how I'm doing it, that's covering me for that whole, you know, that may be enough along with my diet, so I could be actually ideal every day. Like I got 175% today just off the sun, right? So now that excess, what happens is your body stores the excess vitamin D in your fat. Okay, now I'm cutting, so as y'all saw, you know, I have a lot less fat than I would obviously if I was bulking or, you know, whatever. There's more body fat, right? And I'm still cutting, so I'm having less and less body fat. So potentially my body's gonna obviously be able to my body's gonna be able to hold less vitamin D because I have less fat that's stored in the fat. You have more fat, your body should be able to store, you know, more vitamin D, right? So that's something to keep in mind. But I think at least, you know, depending on your sun angle, just find your needs. Again, I'm super light skin, white, super white, so that's one thing that I'm very fortunate about. Now it's good and bad, right? So I can get a lot of vitamin D really easily, but I also would burn pretty quickly because I am so white, right? So just pros and cons of it. If you're darker, basically the darker skin you are, the more actual sun you need to get vitamin D. But then that's where you know what I'm saying, just if you don't want to spend as much time, but then that's where it becomes more important to actually lay down and get the most ideal sun exposure. But you get it from your diet as well. So any excess like I got today, 175%, that's gonna add up to, just say I get over a little bit over 200%, because I've been doing the math without the sun. I just figured out the conversion rate to convert the sun over. So without the sun, I've been getting, I think, around 50% of my daily vitamin D needs with the new 30% egg too. So if I was taking eggs without the 30%, it'd be a lot less, you know, knock off 22%. So I was getting way under vitamin D from my diet. But now with the sun, so I'm saying, so now again, I'm getting it up in my diet, and now I'm laying out a little bit more frequent, and I'm actually keeping up with the IUs. That's what's really good about the DMinder. You can actually track. Again, is it 100% accurate? No, probably not. But if you're consistently using this method, it's consistently, it's a consistent reading. So you just go off that, right? So that's also, now I'm tracking that and taking that to account in my diet as well. Now I can track them, you know, my percentages better, if I'm getting enough, not getting enough. So any excess I got today is going to be stored in my body fat. So just say, for example, tomorrow if I didn't get enough, well, that vitamin D can be released back into my body and make that day end up having enough. You see what I'm saying? So really the truth of everything though, what we need to know is, like, if you would really know, like, I feel great. I've felt basically never better in my entire life. I'm the leanest I've been again. Like, I've been getting stronger recently in the gym, and I'm still cutting. Whole another video pop up, basically how the heck have I been getting stronger recently after having been cut over a year? You know what I'm saying? I think I'm like week 68 of my cut. So, you know, how out of nowhere, how have I just randomly started getting stronger essentially? And I'm, again, been losing fat every week, but all of a sudden I'm just starting getting stronger out of nowhere, right? So, I feel great, that's what I'm saying, but the way to really know like if your vitamin D's like basically was too low or too high where you're at with really everything would be getting blood work. And that is something I'm probably going to do before long, just to kind of see where everything's at, you know, just to see if there is any holes I am missing, and just to see. But I want to get everything like that I can track where I think is ideal, and then get blood work so I can know exactly what I've been doing, exactly what I've been eating, see what the blood work, if the blood work, you know, reflects how great I feel essentially. And if I have some holes, you know, fix those holes. Or if it says I'm deficient, then, you know, fix those holes too. But it's like, dang, I've been feeling great off deficiencies, and then imagine how great I could feel if I fix these holes, right? But I want to actually get everything where I think's at least 100% a day, get my blood work where I think, okay, this is pretty much going to be optimal. Now, it's not for the fact that I've been cutting for over a year, but, you know, hormones and stuff may not be, but everything else should be, just for diet wise, sleep's on point, everything's on point. So, you know, getting some tests would be the thing. So the number one food, I'll just go through, give you all the list real quick. Number one food, salmon. Number two food, tuna. Number three, sardines. Number four, cod liver oil. Eggs, mushrooms, actually that's a good source too. Different ones like shiitake mushrooms. 1 cup has 40 IUs, which is 1 microgram. Other ones have smaller percent, just some. Obviously milk, and then like yogurt, like I said, orange juice, cereals, and those, you know, or those are more like fortified there. And obviously I don't really recommend cereals a whole lot, just fat like. But if you're into enjoy cereals, whatever, you know, eat what you want to eat, but try to get healthy. So I'm all about health, so I like getting, you know, sources from like as natural as possible, whole foods, or like from the sun, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So as healthy as possible. You know, ricotta cheese is a natural source. It says most cheese really doesn't have much vitamin D. Like I showed y'all, I had 0.01% micrograms, which is basically nothing. A natural source of nutrient. 1 cup serving of ricotta cheese has 25 IUs, so 5 times as much as regular cheese. Yeah, so what I would recommend before actually buying any vitamin D supplement, again, check out DMinder and see. I'm not affiliated with them anyway, it's just an app I found is freaking dope. So check out and see if you can get vitamin D, you know what I'm saying, like this time of the year during the, when can you get it? Can you get it during the summer? Can you get it during the winter? Start tracking your vitamin D, okay? Try to at least get to that 20 micrograms a day. Again, try to get it from whole foods, whole sources, and laying out. Get it as natural as possible. And then if you're struggling, and I don't mean try it for 2 days and if you can't do it, quit. No, like you have to build some new habits here, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But then if you can't get it, if you're having a super hard time, or it'd be really hard, say if you live in a certain area where you cannot get any vitamin D from the sun during the winter, okay, that's when it's probably going to be, that's when it's actually going to be a good idea to supplement, because like if you just, your skin can't make it from the sunlight, the sun's not as high enough in the sky to give you the vitamin D. So that's when I would recommend supplementing. But other than that, during the summer, go back to actually getting it from the natural source. You see what I'm saying? So that's it for the video. Just wanted to run through essentially, you know, what I've been doing basically now that I'm more vitamin D conscious to, you know, get my vitamin D levels sufficiently, and actually share the conversion of IUs to micrograms, and then share how much we need each day. You know, 20 micrograms minimum is what the daily, you know, RDA recommends, and then or the USDA, whatever the food packages recommends, 20 micrograms a day. Then I wanted to share the foods that I eat that I get the most, you know, vitamin D from as well. So that is it for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. It might be a little lengthy one here because this clip here is already 11 minutes almost. So, but you know, I do make lengthy videos here and there, but you know, I like to actually get out. I don't want to cut myself short and hold out knowledge, and you know, because I'll make other videos. I already got another vitamin D type video topic in mind, but I like to have all the information jam-packed in here. So you know, the people who actually want to watch and listen and learn it all in one source, here you go essentially. But that's it for the video. Stay happy, stay healthy. Please like the video. If you did like the video, it really helps me out. It really helps me grow the channel. Really trying to grow the channel here. Really trying to spread and help as many people as I possibly can. Inspire people to live a happier, healthier, you know, more health conscious type lifestyle. Anyway, that's it for the video. Stay happy, stay healthy. Go make y'all some gains. See y'all on the next one. Comment anything down below you want to see me do on the channel here. Any kind of video topics you want me to do, or any kind of question you have. Stay happy, stay healthy. Go make y'all some gains. Peace out, everybody.